Hey guys, so this is my drag tutorial. I just wanted to show you I shaved with this skin cream. It was 99 cents at my local grocery outlet. I picked up that. It's been awesome for taking off makeup and shaving. And then I also glued down my eyebrows. And I also used an orange corrector on my neck and on my eyebrow area. I prepped my skin before all this with the Smart Serum by Clinique and some essential oil drops by MAC. Just very soothing to the skin, gives the skin a nice plump feel. And yeah, I shaved with those things, and then I also I glued down my eyebrows, I concealed them and corrected them. I put on some primer, which is the Strobe Cream in Red Light. It's just my favorite primer at the moment. And I'm going to take some powder and a powder puff. This is medium mineralized powder loose by MAC. Just checking to make sure it's the right color. And then I have my puff, which I actually just cleaned. And so I set everything with that, pressed it in with the puff, and now I'm going to take C4 Studio Fix by MAC and a brush. And I'm just going to kind of dust over those areas to kind of make them more like my skin tone again. Because after you color correct, I always like to kind of, every step that I put on, I'll try and make it a little bit more like my skin tone every time. And I'm looking down at the ground randomly. Well, while I'm looking down at the ground and being weird, I will give you guys a little update. So I have ordered a ring light, and I have ordered some new software to edit with. I've been having a really hard time editing. Oh, here I am. So I'm stippling that with a little stippling brush, stippling it over my brow area and my under eye area where I put some corrector, and I'm going to stipple it over my beard area where I put the corrector. And the corrector is like an orangey tone. Depending on your skin tone, you might, if you're a deeper skin tone, usually red sorts of tones work better. And now I'm going to dance with my hair back and forth and whatnot. Oh, skipping forward, we are going to take this white shade in this palette, and this palette's called Eye Magic. It's like, and I'm going to take the white shade, it's like a cream palette. I think it's made to mimic the Makeup Forever Flash palette. But it's fine, it's good. It was like $5.99, so definitely works for my purposes for like face painting and drag and things. So yeah, I'm stippling that over my brow area. This will create my brow highlight so that I have somewhere to go off of when I put in my brows. And I just kind of came up with this at the very last minute. There's a whole bunch of things that I probably would have changed about this look, looking at it at the end. It's kind of simple, kind of basic, but like this would get the job done. Like say you are a drag queen or you want to learn how to do drag makeup, this is a good place to start because it's not super hard. And it's also, if I was going to do this look specifically, I probably would have been in a rush because usually I put a little bit more detail into it. I actually just used a shadow to cut my crease instead of like cutting it out with a product, which I usually do. And like, I didn't do any brow highlight, which is unusual for me. I also didn't contour my nose, which is unusual for me. I probably would have put in some cream contour in there somewhere. Definitely would have put in some contouring on my chest and things. So I'm just taking that mineralized powder in medium loose, and I am setting my brow area now that I put down that cream white. And I'm going to dance around a little bit more and sing, lip sync, whatever I'm doing. So yeah, after you do, this is a lot of layering in drag, so after you do one step, usually I like to set that step with powder. I have a skin tone powder, and I also have like a translucent powder. It really just depends on if you're going to try and be creating more coverage or you want to just kind of set something. And the reason I used the skin tone powder was because it made it look less white, but it still gives me a highlight because the white's underneath it. So yeah, and I don't always glue down my brows, but today, oh my god, I'm just dancing everywhere. Um, today I did because I kind of wanted to, I wanted to show you guys how I go about doing that. I use the glue stick and like a spoon, and I'll like smooth out the edges with a makeup wipe. And I did like a lot of layering. Okay, so now I'm taking Painterly paint pot, and I'm taking that over. I just dusted out the powder that I set the white with, and I'm just taking that over the whole area of my eye. So all over where I put the white just now, all over my eyelid. This will help further brighten my eye space and prime for eyeshadows. Also, in a pinch, and especially in drag makeup, Painterly is an amazing substance. Like, it will make everything stick to your skin. It can get rid of texture if you're building layers like I am. So this will help further erase the texture of my brows that's underneath there and erase the texture that I've made with the glue so that everything can be nice and smooth. Skipping forward, now I'm doing foundation and things. I took the Halo Fluid Foundation by Smashbox and I mixed in Pro Longwear Concealer in NC20. The Halo liquid I used I think was a number 3. And now I'm taking my Studio Fix Perfecting Stick by MAC, and this is NC10 as well. I think it's NC10. Either NC10 or NC20. I'm pretty sure it's NC10 though. It's like the lightest one. And I'm just buffing that with a little Urban Decay buffing brush. I'm just stippling it into my brow area, anywhere I want more coverage now that I've put the liquid and the concealer down. I like to use things that are not too, there I go dancing again. I like to use not too dense of a product if I don't have to, because if you use more of a dense product, it's going to make more texture usually. But vice versa, if you have a lot of texture in an area, you need to put texture down to smooth it out, if that makes sense. So like with the brow area, I like to put a cream down, and I'll put several creams down in layering process. So I'm showing you that is my Pro Longwear Concealer in NC20. I don't know why I'm so obsessed with trying to show you what color it is, because I was going to do a voiceover, but whatever. But yeah, if you have a lot of texture in an area, you want to kind of layer cream products over that, and then I like to layer liquids on top of the creams after they've been set to just kind of like make everything look like skin again. It's a science, but it's also it's an art. So it is both, I think. And I'm focusing most of this product in the center part of my face. Outer edges of my face are really going to be bronzed and contoured and things later. So I usually don't worry too much about that. I do try and get the foundation and things onto my ears. I'm just feeling myself with this music, you guys. I'm sorry. So yeah, I try to get it everywhere. Get it on your ears, get it on your neck, get it on your chest, put it everywhere, and then afterward, good old powder, set with some of that powder again. And I like to use a puff because it really locks in the powder. If you use a powder brush, sometimes it'll leave streaks, especially if you're doing as many layers as I'm doing. Just because it's so many layers of makeup, if you move the top layer at all, it might move the layers underneath. So that's why I like to set things throughout the makeup a little bit too. A lot of people don't like to do that because they think it makes more texture, but like it just depends on the way you layer the products on top. So I'm powdering, still powdering. Main areas that I really focus powder though is through the center of my face, my eyebrows, definitely my beard area because I put more coverage down there to cover any blue tones that might be coming through, dark tones. So after I have powdered, hoping we'll move on from powdering soon here. There we go. Okay, so now I'm gonna do brows, and I just did one kind of off camera because it's the one that's turned away from you guys, so I figured you didn't want to probably watch that one. But this next one is the same thing. So I'm just taking an angled brush. It's a number 266 brush from MAC. It's my favorite for brows and for liner. It's just a really good brush. I like to have several on hand. So making the bottom line first, and I'm just kind of freehanding it, just tracing it in. I feel like people really freak out when there's like no brow there, but it's not that hard. You just kind of map out one line and then map out a line on top of that line or underneath that line, depending on what's easiest for you. Make your little cage is what I call it, or like make your shape basically. And I don't fill in the shape at all, I just leave it that way. Then in a second, what I'll do is take that Pro Longwear concealer again and a little flat brush, and we will cut the bottom of the brow out. That way it's nice and sharp and nice and lifted and pretty, and it gets rid of any of the edges from where we've done the glue. Just like throwing the camera all over the place. And I wasn't going out in drag, so I just was doing this for you guys. And like I said, it's kind of last minute, not very well like thought through. I'm definitely going to do a more intense, in-depth tutorial. I'm just showing you the wipes that I'm using. They're cucumber. Again, really cheap, 99 cents to $2.99. I'm not really sure, but very cheap wipes. Come in a pack of 30, and they're really, really good, and they're from Grocery Outlet. So my 3 favorite places right now, or maybe 2 favorite places to go get wipes and like stuff is Grocery Outlet and Trader Joe's for sure, those 2, and Walmart sometimes too. They have some good stuff, but they just have great prices, and like it's not super expensive, but it works really well, so I'm all about it. I need a lot of products, so I need to. And so now we're gonna take Pro Longwear concealer and cut out the bottom of the brow. And like I said, don't mind my hairy armpits and things like that. I was definitely not going out in drag, or else I would have shaved underneath there. But I was just doing my face for you guys. So I'm just cutting out the bottom of the brow, getting rid of any mistakes, making sure it's nice and lifted, nice and sharp. Some people like to do the top of their brow as well. I just find that doing the bottom of my brow is more helpful to me. Sometimes I find when I do the top of the brow too, it's just too much product, and there's no like justification for why it needs to be up there. But if your brow gets really crazy, obviously, if you have to do both sides, do both sides. But as you can tell, there is a lot of product already around my eyes, so any product that I can save myself from and not put any more around my eyes, I will. So now it looks nice and lifted and highlighted under there, which is what I wanted. I'm just going to get rid of any excess from the back of my hand. I like to work from the back of my hand or off of a palette for drag usually, because I'm mixing things together, trying to warm them up, that sort of jam. So yeah, you can see they're nice and sharp now. So, and I was using patting motions. When you use layers like this, you have to be using patting motions and not so many swiping motions or buffing motions, because it will raise the glue or disturb the glue so that it just doesn't look as nice. So we want to keep pressing everything into our skin and like tapping it down, making sure it's nice and flat. So I'm taking this Urban Decay Vice palette. I'm not sure which Vice palette this was, but it has a gorgeous packaging. It's like all crisscross, like holographic purple and blue and stuff on the front. And this is a color, I think it might be just called magenta, but it's like a pink. So I do like, I'm gonna dance a little bit for you guys, just really get into it. And all I have on my face, other than like foundations and things at this point, and like glue and stuff, is a little bit of lip conditioner that I put on. That's why my lips are kind of shiny. I like to let that kind of set in and cook into my lips while I'm doing the rest of my stuff, and then I'll kind of blot it before I do my lip usually. So yeah, I'm using that magenta color and I'm just layering it. I'm starting from the outside corner using a fluffy brush and working inside. This eye is very blown out, smoky eye, like not super cut crease. It kind of becomes a cut crease in a second, and I'll show you how. But generally for drag, cut creases work really well because they make your eye look more open and they create more space for the eye because it's sectioning off parts of it. But today I just wanted to do something easy, simple, just get you guys a drag video that you haven't had for a long time updated. So I'm just building that magenta. You've got to keep on building it. And in between, I already have set my face a whole bunch of times with powder, but in between I just kind of like tap the brush or like blow on the brush a little bit. If you're doing it on a client, definitely don't blow on the brush because that's not sanitary, but if you're doing it at home, drag queens blow on their brush all the time. Get the fallout off. So working that magenta up, I'm just trying to, this colors are a transitional shade, so what you're trying to do here is hide your seam from your glue. So that's what I mostly tried to do there. Then I took two other colors, and I think the footage might have kind of gotten lost from it, but right now I'm going to cut my crease with some of this orangey glitter color in the same palette, and I'm just going to pick it up on a flat brush, really load up the brush, blow it off, and then take some MAC Fix Plus and spritz the brush. This will have the glycerin in it that it takes to really make the product stick and look really metallic and flat, give it some more pop. That way I can really kind of cut out my crease without cutting it with a concealer or another product. But if I was going to cut it out, I probably would have used Painterly. With the eyeshadows, I did that first base color in magenta and really built that up. Then I did a darker purple, then I did a black. And kind of the layering happens with the first color being the most blown out, the second color being a little bit less, and the third color being the smallest shape. So that's kind of how it works. So yeah, just trying to cut out my crease with that lid color. That way I get some dimension, some separation. Headphones fall out, so putting those back. I don't know about you guys, but I hate the kind of headphones that are like this. I mean, I don't know why, but they won't stay in my ear. They're like the squishy kind that like is supposed to stay in your ear, but for some reason, I don't know if my ears are too small or my ears are too big or I don't know, but they won't stay in my ear and it's really annoying. But I digress. So really layering that product up. After I do the layer of the product kind of dampened on the brush, I do another layer of kind of the product dry. That way the dry product will stick on top of the wet product and make sure that it really pops. So I think that I've layered that enough, and now I'm going to take another brush, kind of a little flat brush like that, and I'm just taking it, it's kind of like a beige tone, and I'm just taking it to the front of my brow where I've left it blank in the frame of my brow. So that'll be like kind of a little brow highlight under there. That way the brows don't look too stamped in. Okay, now I'm using, I tried to use my NYX brow liner, my liquid brow liner, but it just was not working with this look for some reason, so I just took my Brush Black liner by MAC, and now I'm kind of drawing some texture and creating more depth at the tail of my brow. That way the brows really stand out. Even if I'm doing a blonde look, I really hate it when my brows don't stand out enough, because they really frame your face and they give people like something to look at. It's like a focal feature. So yeah, I was just making sure that they were nice and filled in and that they had texture. And now I'm gonna do a wing liner with it. I already put on some lashes. These are number 48 lashes by MAC. I did have some stacked with, I had a pair of 48s that were stacked with a pair of 43s, and that was really pretty. I just couldn't find them, so next time. Yeah, and like I said, I apologize for the lighting in this video. It's really hard to see things. Like, the makeup looked actually really bomb at the end of it. Like, it's very simple, but it kind of did look really bomb. But you actually can't really see it very good on here, which I'm disappointed about. I turned on my studio lights on my vanity, and it just blurred out my whole face. Like, there was no definition. Like, the camera couldn't even see my face. So I'm working on getting a ring light and a new camera and a new editing software. That way I will be all set up for you guys and I can make some better videos. So yeah, I'm just making sure the line's really symmetrical. I like to start at the outside corner and make the flick, and then go back into the eye and do the detail work. Make sure that it's smooth and bring it back over to the original line. That way I can use more pressure towards the outside and less pressure towards the inside. Same thing for everything in makeup, I think. Brows, eyes, eyeliner, lip color, contour, pretty much like every structural thing. Making a little beauty mark, which I tend to do. I love a good beauty mark. And now I'm going to dig in my big lip drawer and pull out some melted Too Faced liquid lipstick. And I think it's called Marshmallow. Melted Marshmallow. This color is gorgeous. It's like a baby bright pink. And it's kind of glossy. I absolutely love this color. Especially for drag, it's just like a gorgeous color. And I'm doing my makeup all out of order today. Generally, I wouldn't do it in this order, but you'll get the picture. I'm sorry to flash you my underwear, but that's what I was wearing. So, realness. Hashtag realness. So I'm using this bronzer. It's actually from the MAC Fruity Juicy collection. It's called I think it's called Baina Bronze. I love it. It's a really good bronzer slash warm contour color, which doesn't really make any sense. But I like to shape my face with my bronzer and then also kind of shape it with some grayish sort of contour tones. You can see, like, I do use my own brows for drag a lot, which I don't really mind because my brows are kind of okay, and like I can kind of make a really good arch just by bringing my tail out really far and like making the front kind of bigger. However, it's fun to glue down your brow because then you can make whatever brow shape you want, and it makes my forehead look smaller so that I don't have to contour it so much, which is really nice. Generally, men have much bigger foreheads than women, so it's nice to not have to do that so much. So I'm just really warming up my face, dancing around, being ridiculous, trying to create some shape, knocking out my earphones because I'm going crazy. Yeah, this lighting really doesn't do this justice because it really did turn out pretty beautiful. And I swear you guys, we're on our way out of this video. This video is a lot longer than my usual videos, but I promise you, we're on our way to the finish line. Actually, this whole drag look, even with shaving and everything, I think it took me 2 hours. And the first hour was just me prepping and doing my brows. Doing, like, gluing down my brows and stuff. So really, the whole video, like, when I looked back at the footage, it only took an hour to do the whole face, which is pretty good. I mean, I would say generally I take, like, a good 2 to 3 hours with prepping and getting into my costume and everything before a gig, but Okay, so I'm happy with the contour situation. I probably, if I was going on stage, I definitely would have done more contouring and more highlighting. I think my face looks a little bit one-dimensional here, but once I put on the blush and highlight, it actually looked really cute. Very daytime drag, daytime fish. I can see like wearing this to go and do a meet and greet, or like wearing this to go and like, I don't know what you would do in drag with this look, but like something where you're meeting people up close or not being on stage really, just more of like meet and greet or like party. I've done like drag parties before, so I guess this would be more like that, where you want to look more realistic and a little bit less like, I don't know, like you're gonna pop out of the closet and like scare someone. So I'm doing mascara. This is Zoom Lash by MAC. I put on my 48s and I like to mesh them. I used to do it the other way around. I used to do my lashes first, or do my mascara first and then put on my lashes. But since working for a counter, it's just so much easier to just plop lashes on and then put on mascara. I just feel like they blend better. It's easier because the lashes don't get in the way, because once I put mascara on my lashes, they curl right up, and most people's do kind of tend to do that. So it's just when they're flat and straight and like pointed downward a little bit more, it's easy to kind of like stick the lash to your natural lash line. Okay, mascara is on. I'm gonna put that away. Just feeling myself for a second. So currently we have a little bit of bronzer, and that's kind of it for the face, like structure wise. So I'm gonna put on a little bit of blush to help further the structure. This is Telling Glow. It's an in extreme dimension, or an in extra dimension blush. It's beautiful. It has like good light reflection in it. Um, I love it. So you can see that created a lot more shape too, just by the shape in which you apply it. I like to do the apple of my cheek and then roll it backward up along the contouring line that I put in. And if I had done the extra step of putting in more contour at the very back of my cheek, I think this look would have it kind of would have sold the look a little bit better, but um, it still did look really put together and really nice. I like to have a blush that has a little bit of highlighter in it, because that really makes your cheek look more dewy and fresh again. Now I'm just highlighting with, and I always love to do a bit of shimmer highlight with my drag looks, because there's so much powder going on. Kind of got to bring that dewiness back into your skin so that your skin looks like skin and not like, I don't know, like a piece of paper mache. So that is Soft Frost, and it's an in extra dimension skin finish. And now I'm just feeling myself one more time. And I realize here, now that I look at it, like I probably should have brought the other brow in a little further, but that's totally fine. I think if you worry too much about making your makeup look perfect, it's not artistic and fun anymore, so don't get too crazy. And before I did my highlighting step, I spritzed my face just a tad with Fix Plus. And I like to use a flat foundation brush for highlight. That way I can really pack on the color and get the nice like refraction from the light. Whatever's left after I like deposit it on my cheeks in the areas I want a little bit more, I just kind of take underneath my eye to kind of brighten my under eye a little bit. So you can see the highlight is pretty real at this moment. So and now I'm just gonna like freak out and spasm and stuff. Think I'm really gangster and like, oh, Say My Name came on. It was a pretty... I listened to this song like 4 times in a row at the very end of this video with my wig on, just because I was feeling it. Yay, 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 yay. So now I'm just sitting back up in my chair. And I'm going to move you guys closer so that you can see what's going on. There we go. That's better. So yeah, I apologize for the lighting. This lighting is just awful. And I was trying to move the camera around to try and find the best lighting, but I really didn't ever find it. So now I kind of have the whole face pretty together. I mean, like I said, I would have added more of a brow highlight after I did my shadows. I would have put a highlight in the inner corner of my eye. I probably would have cut my crease with something like Painterly or a concealer before I did the other color, and I probably would have used an actual glitter instead of a shadow. Especially if I was going on stage, I would have used a bigger lash. I probably would have done some individuals on the bottom, or like cut a strip lash up and did some lashes on the bottom. Sometimes I use rhinestones around my eyes. I like a good glitter lip every now and again. I probably would have added more contour to the skin, just a tad, and I would have obviously shaved my armpits and done my body. But I just wanted to do the face for you guys. This wig, I'm so sorry. This wig is like Troll Doll City, and I had a pin in my hair that I forgot to take out. That's what that black thing is. But this gives you an idea of like what it looks like all put together, which is actually a really pretty look, even in this lighting. So if it looks good in this lighting, it would look even better in appropriate lighting that actually makes sense. But yeah, this is my casual drag look, like supermarket style drag, like going to pick up some macaroni and cheese from the store, make Daddy some dinner. And I didn't shave my arms either. I just look like a mess. But the face is the main thing that I was like focusing on. And it was fun. I just like did it spur of the moment. Like I said, I would have contoured my nose a little bit more here, and I probably would have contoured my jaw just a little bit more too. The cheeks look actually kind of fine. Like, I don't know. I think the cheeks look fine, but I would have definitely added more contour to my jawline, my chin, and my nose. And I probably would have cut my crease a little harsher, but next time. Alright, so this is the look. It doesn't really go anywhere from here, so I'm going to sign off. Please subscribe to my channel if you like my videos. I will have more updated drag videos and more intensive, trendy sort of drag videos where I kind of focus on trends or like types of drag. I want to do like a club kid drag video. I don't know. Tell me what you guys want to see. Leave it in the comments. Please leave me a comment. Thumbs up this video if you like it. Share it with friends and subscribe to my channel. And I will see you guys next time, hopefully with better lighting and a better video in general. So hope you loved it. Kisses. And I will see you on the next video. Bye, guys.